First, the Redskins lose their playoff game. Now they've lost Robert Griffin III for some period of time. We will find out how long after he goes under the knife. Welcome into the Sporting News Studios. I'm Tom Vandervoort here to talk with me about RG3, our NFL writer Cliff Brown. And Cliff, boy, it's been tough for the Redskins watching this happen to RG3. And just looking back a little bit first, I know it's hindsight now, but can you question at all the way Mike Shanahan handled this quarterback in that playoff game?
Well, I certainly questioned it, and I questioned it during the game as I wrote about Monday for Sporting News, that I just felt that Griffin could not protect himself sufficiently on the field. He had a rollout in the second half to his left where he was really limping and kind of took a gimpy gait out of bounds. And at that point, I became fearful for his safety, and I had no idea that it was going to end the way it did with him crumpling to the turf without being hit. But in my feeling, it didn't have anything to do with the fact that it was a playoff game, how close the game was, how well he was or was not playing. It was all about him being in an unsafe situation.
Yeah, and it strikes me as watching that game that at some point he couldn't run, clearly. He wasn't throwing the ball very well either. You need your legs to throw the football, and he wasn't very accurate. He's been very accurate all year long. And in that sense, was there really any short-term gain by leaving him in there?
Well, those are good points, but he was still making some plays. He's still Robert Griffin III, and it is a tough call to me whether you should pull him or not strictly based on performance. Robert Griffin III, as
Right.
he has told everyone, is never going to pull himself out of a game unless he just can't go. So the only way you're going to get him off the field as a coach is for you to make the decision. So Shanahan, it would have been a bold decision to remove him. If the Redskins had lost anyway, he would have been soundly criticized. But everyone could see that he was laboring with that knee. He started the game wearing a knee brace. He's been injured for the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's had knee surgery in the past, and he's the future of that franchise. The Redskins have to do everything they can to protect this guy, to make sure that he has a 10-year or more career. They invested the draft picks, moved up to get him, paid him the money, and are going to pay him a handsome penny in the future. But he's the type of quarterback that can take them to championships. It's in their best interest to keep him healthy. And in year one, it looks like they may have made a major mistake, and he faces reconstructive knee surgery.
So where does that put him for next year? I mean, we know obviously from Adrian Peterson you can come back from this kind of thing. But, I mean, are we looking at a lost season for the Redskins and Griffin III?
They don't think so, and I'm optimistic that he will be ready week one. It's ironic that his injury happened on the same field where Adrian Peterson got hurt. And there's been talk, too, about that surface at FedEx Field that, Pete Carroll complained after the game that it was terrible. But I would expect Robert Griffin III and Adrian Peterson to become text buddies over the next year. I mean, Peterson is the role model for how to recover quickly and really amazingly well from reconstructive surgery. So I'm sure Peterson would love to share with Griffin the things that he did to overcome his injury. I'm sure Griffin would be all ears. They're both Texas guys, matter of fact, from the state of Texas. So I think they'll be talking. And, yeah, Griffin, knowing his work ethic and determination, will do everything in his power to come back as good and as strong as ever. And my money would be if it's possible for him to be ready by week one, he will be.
All right, very good. Thanks, Cliff. Appreciate your time today. We'll see what happens.
Thank you, Tom.